Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host. Well, let me start that over. Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, record-breaking cornerback, and don't forget 50 interceptions in 10 years. Yeah, that's me, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, Saturday Night Vibes. How we doing out there tonight? Twitter family, YouTube family, Facebook family. How's everybody doing, baby? Saturday Night Vibes, man. How are we doing? Y'all come holler at me. Y'all come tap in. Let me know where y'all tapping in from. Man, hopefully, man, I got this audio fixed and everything is sounding a lot better, man. If not, man, I got to go hire a professional or somebody, man. Dang. I think I had a shortage of something going on in these past lives, man. But hopefully we got this fixed, man. We're going to turn up, have a good time. Yep. To my brother Rick. Yeah, we're going to talk that talk and we're going to walk that walk. Like we always did, you feel me? Say what needs to be said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, 50 interceptions in 10 years. Rookie minicamp is over with, man. Rookies have got their feet wet in the NFL, and we got a lot to discuss, man. Rick, man, y'all hear me well out there, man. Y'all let me know, man. Texas in the building. Eureka, what they do? BYD King, what's happening, baby? Rick, the vegan barber in the building, man. Y'all come in. Y'all let me know where y'all coming in from so I salute y'all. Man, we're going to talk about Derek Carr today. We're going to talk about, get into a little Shedeur Sanders, what we think about his situation. We're going to talk about Travis Hunter. Everybody, man, these rookies, man, they hit the field as rookies, and we got to discuss what's going on, baby. You feel me? Y'all come on in, man. Give a few more seconds, man. Y'all know I can't wait too long. Like I told y'all before in live, I like to get right to the point. I got a lot of energy I got to release, man. Now that I'm not playing football no more, I'm not on the football field, baby. I got to release some of this energy somewhere. You feel me? And I'm going to keep my mouth to the mic, and y'all let me know if I get to moving too much and my audio get to going in and out and things like that. I'm trying to do a little better. You know, as I start perfecting my craft, you know, things start going to get better. That's what it's all about. You feel me? Say what needs to be said, baby. Yes, sir, but Derek Carr, man, if y'all haven't seen, Derek Carr has been one that was blessed with one of those great careers that consist of timing as far as contracts are concerned in the NFL. This man made over $200 million in his career despite not being established as one of the top leaders of an NFL offense. Wow, $200 million. Yeah, he made Pro Bowls, he made it All-Pro, but he was never known as one of those top leaders, a top quarterback. And always remember what I told y'all. Always remember, if y'all be on these lives with me, chopping it up, and having a good time, always remember what I told y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all again. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. None of what you hear, half of what you see. Yeah, we're talking about Derek Carr. A few weeks ago, Derek Carr was just preaching to an audience that people were lying about him and so on and so forth. But his objective was to spread awareness about people attacking others, not knowing what that person may be going through. So let's check it out. Saints Derek Carr says in a sermon that people are lying about him and his shoulder injury, right? He says people are lying about him and his shoulder injury. It's curious. It's curious right there, right? Right? Now, Derek Carr continues. This is what he preached at his sermon at a church service. I think this was a couple of days after the NFL draft. This is a couple of days after the NFL draft, and this is what he had to say. He said, I hate that I have to say this, but I have to say this. Yes, I have a shoulder injury, Carr said while delivering a guest sermon at a church in Las Vegas on Sunday. I have an MRI report to reprove it, Carr continued. The team knows about it. We've been in constant communication. There's nothing wrong. We're figuring it out, and we're going to go forward with that. Is that okay? Derek Carr continues, I've been dealing with people lying about me. And I'm like, Lord, why do I have to continue to deal with this nonsense? Carr continued, you never know what someone's really going through. And so why do people continually try to attack people? And I would say attack people that are maybe trying to do things the right way. That's what Derek Carr had to say, right? And that, like I said, that was 2 days after the draft. And maybe he was feeling a certain way. He seen that the Saints had to draft a quarterback. And after all that preaching and accusing people of lying on him, Derek Carr has decided to retire from the National Football League. And y'all won't believe this part. Y'all won't believe what I'm about to tell y'all if y'all haven't heard already. This is the most unbelievable part. Some people get blessed, like I said, that timing for Derek Carr, just impeccable, man. Just impeccable. $200 million. Now, not only is Derek Carr retiring, he has forfeited his $30 million salary that was fully guaranteed. Yes, you heard me right. He has retired and he is forfeiting his $30 million guaranteed salary. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. We can't make this up. And the New Orleans Saints obviously knew about Derek Carr's shoulder situation, and Derek Carr not playing this season could possibly be a scenario for the team, right? And when speculations first hit the news about Derek Carr's shoulder injury and the possibility of him missing this season, we all thought that it was a clear indication that the Saints would take Shedeur Sanders with the 9th pick in the NFL draft. We all thought that when we heard about Derek Carr and his shoulder injury, and I guess this was when people was lying on him. People was coming out and saying Derek Carr was out for the season. Instantly, everyone looked right to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is going to the Saints. At the 9th pick, they need a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, it was already written in stone that Cam Ward was kind of going to Tennessee Titans. But instead of the New Orleans Saints drafting, the New Orleans Saints drafted Tyler Shuck, with a quarterback with the 2nd round pick. They didn't take Shedeur Sanders, right? They took Tyler Shuck, a quarterback, with the 2nd round pick to get Shedeur Sanders, right? And we don't know much about Tyler Shuck. He played his last season at the University of Louisville. He's like a 5th-year senior. And after that quarterback was selected, right? We got all antsy, wondering, when will Shedeur Sanders be selected? Because who the hell is Tyler Shuck? At least that's how we felt at the time during the draft, right? We got very antsy when Tyler Shuck got selected and the Saints took him, because we thought, shit, if they're not going to take him with the 9th pick, at least in the 2nd round, Shedeur Sanders will be a Saint. You feel me? At worst, if he falls to the Saints will take him. Right? Because who the heck is Tyler Shuck? That's how we felt. No offense to Tyler, I'm just talking and we vibing out. Then we assume Tyler Shuck, right, will be Derek Carr's backup, but the Saints were looking for someone to come in and start immediately. We had no clue. Derek Carr was pulling the wool over our eyes, man. We had no freaking clue. Check this out. Derek Carr gives up $30 million to retire. Yes, $30 million. And he actually didn't have to retire. He's doing the team a favor. Per a source with knowledge of this situation, Carr's retirement comes with an agreement regarding his contract. In a nutshell, he'll give up $30 million in fully guaranteed pay. That was his base salary for 2025, which the Saints opted to convert mostly prorated payment in March. Carr will keep a $10 million roster bonus he earned in March. Also, the Saints will not seek to recover any of the remaining allocations of his $28.5 million signing bonus, which he received in 2023. Carr could have undergone shoulder surgery, not played this year, pocketed the $30 million and made a decision about the future at some point down the road next season. That's exactly what Carr could have done and kept that $30 million. And I know it seems strange and it seems weird that Derek Carr can just walk away from $30 million. But some people are just blessed with that time. And like I said, he's made over $200 million with this $10 million roster bonus that he just received. I think that equals a total of $200 million. And no, he was never that guy. In Oakland, at the Saints, you know. But shout out to Derek Carr, man. He had a blessed career, a very successful career, man. A lot of people don't get to play in the NFL and do the things he did. So you got to give him a shout out, give him his just due. He's, it's a couple of days since he retired, man. So shout out to Derek Carr, man. But we got to commentate. We have to commentate and deliver, baby, because what is going on in New Orleans? And to the people who haven't played football for the majority of their lives, right? I understand it seems crazy, ridiculous, asinine, and whatever else you want to call it, from the outside looking in, for Derek Carr not to go get this money. I know it seems crazy, but y'all don't understand the challenges we all go through and we deal with mentally and physically playing football. It becomes a routine for some of us, that we get tired of despite the potential income that we can earn. We get tired of this routine. Despite it doesn't matter. Obviously, we already made a lot of money and we touched a lot of money. We've seen what it felt like to accomplish this thing that we've been dreaming about our whole lives, right? So I know it seems funny and weird that you could just walk away from $30 million like that, right? But it becomes a time when some players are just ready to transition to that new life and take on a new challenge. I was like that, man. I could have continued to play and went team to team, and I was just ready to take on that new chapter in my life. Understand what I'm saying? I was ready to come home and deal with all the things that being home was about, And if players, and this is the crazy part, about football, because you grow up just loving football, your whole life. And when we get to the point where we don't love football anymore, it becomes a very stressful job. And meanwhile, we're all stressed out about this job and debating whether we want to continue to play or not. Our brothers is on our left and is on our right, and they are depending on us to go out there and deliver our best. And we don't want to let them down. And we start off playing football for fun, and then it becomes a business, right? We start off playing football for fun, and then it becomes a business. Then you have people pulling you this way, leaning you this way, trying to give you advice, what you should and should not do. Understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how it goes. So just looking from the outside, trying to look in and understand where he's coming from. You can't understand that. Him walking away from $30 million, you can't understand that. I mean, it seems weird to me. I couldn't have walked away from $30 million. That is asinine to myself. You understand what I mean? I would have went and got that shoulder surgery and called it a day, man. I'd have been the Saints for life. I've been a Saint for life, baby. New Orleans, we here. Yeah, man. That's how it goes from some people, man. Like I say, that timing is impeccable sometimes. I mean, I remember Numby Austin. While y'all remember Numby, I mean, he was getting $15 million a year when it was outrageous for a cornerback to get $15 million a year. He had, I forget the owner's name for the Oakland Raiders. He had him under his wing in the headlock, and he just believed in Numby. Then Philadelphia Eagles, same thing, gave him the $15 million a year when the highest paid corner was like at $10 million a year. It was just ridiculous. And the whole time, I understood his flaws. I'm going to just say that and whatnot. I understood his flaws and things like that. And yeah, so like I say, the timing, man. Some people have that impeccable timing where they just continue to get paid and everything just falls in the lap, man, in their lap. But the majority of scouts and coaches and general managers didn't see franchise type quarterbacks available in this draft. And we had no idea, clue, inclination, or anything like that Shedeur Sanders will make it to the 5th round of that draft, of the 2025 draft. We all see Shedeur Sanders as a winner, a competitor, an atmosphere, an environment changer. He can do it all. He get into the locker room and everybody will love him. Everybody will follow his lead. We see all these things and feel this way about Shedeur Sanders, right? He's a winner. He's a competitor. He's loved. He's well groomed. All these things, right? So what is the problem with Shedeur Sanders? He showed he's a winner. He's one of the, if not the most accurate passing quarterback in college football. He's top 2 or 3. And he was successful at different programs. So what is the problem? Then Tyler Shough, right? Their 2nd round pick. He is your prototype quarterback, standing at 6'5", 225 pounds, and a big arm. Shout out to the super chat. I'm going to get to you. Terrell, who was that? Terrell Bullet in the building. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Shout out to the super chat. Yeah, man. So Tyler Shough, man, he's a 2nd round pick. The thing about him, he is prototype at 6'5", 225 pounds, and he has a big arm. His size is one thing that separates him from the rest of the quarterbacks in the draft, in my opinion, which is a huge difference when you're considering quarterbacks that are pocket passing quarterbacks. That size, that height matters because you have to be able to take hits and you have to be able to see over that offensive line of 6'5", 6'7", so on and so forth. Let's get to the super chat real quick. Tyler Butt 22, you think Saints made a mistake not getting Sanders? Man, I absolutely do, man. For whatever the reason is, I see that this is kind of, it seems like this was not just about Shedeur Sanders. It seems like it gets a little deeper than this. The more and more that I'm starting to, get my feelers out there and hear people talking things like that, because it's not making sense. Shedeur Sanders is a bona fide winner. He's a player, and we're going to get to it, man. We're going to get back to it, and I'm going to make you understand how I feel about this, because it's not making sense, especially when we see what the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, what he had to say about Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel. We're going to get to it. I don't want to ruin the surprise. You feel me? So shout out to the Terrell Bullet for the super chat. Terrell in the building. Yeah, man. So like I say, Tyler Shough, man, his size made him prototype. So it makes offensive coordinators, head coaches, and things like that very comfortable taking this guy. You know what I mean? He was under the radar, but, scouts obviously know about him, right? So that's what separated him from the rest of the rest of the bunch in the group at quarterback in the draft, right? And like I said, it's a huge difference. Now, Shedeur Sanders, he is considered a pocket passing quarterback, if you didn't know. Yeah, you may have seen him running around, but he is a pocket passing quarterback. But he is only 6'2". That's a huge difference. If you're 6'2", nowadays they're expecting you to be a dual threat quarterback. Now, Shough's college career wasn't. It was pretty average, right? Shough, his college career was pretty average. He bounced around until his 5th year, right? Then he landed at University of Louisville. Shough's final year at Louisville, that's when he finally broke out. His 5th year, being a 5th-year senior. He finally had a breakout senior season, and that's when he hit the radar and became a top prospect for NFL teams. Now, if y'all don't know the quarterbacks on the Saints roster, now that Derek Carr is retired, are Spencer Rattler, a 5th-round pick, Jake Haener, a 4th-round pick, and then we got Tyler Shough, right? These are the quarterbacks on the roster. Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, and then Tyler Shough. Boy, this sure sounds like a great opportunity for a rookie quarterback to go in there and win a starting position, man. This sounds like this would have been an awesome opportunity for Shedeur Sanders, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have to believe, man. I have to believe the Saints were not high on Shedeur compared to other quarterbacks in this draft because it makes no sense. The Saints had to not be high on Shedeur Sanders because it was ample opportunities and they knew this Derek Carr situation. And there's no way I can believe the Saints believe Shedeur Sanders can make that team a very competitive team and not draft him. It makes no sense. Everybody's job is on the line. The head coach, the general manager, the scouts, so on and so forth. There's no way that I believe that the Saints had Shedeur Sanders high on the board. Scouts was drooling all over him. They thought he was a hell of a player, and they bypassed him over and over and over. That is so far-fetched, me knowing that coaches want to win, right? But it's not unbelievable. It's not impossible. Anything can happen. This is the NFL. Stands for not for long. You know what I mean? Now, can you imagine being Shedeur Sanders and hearing this, that the New Orleans Saints did not draft you, and they knew the whole time that Derek Carr was not going to be available this season? Can you imagine being Shedeur Sanders? The chip that the young man is walking around with on his shoulder after learning this, man, I bet it's crazy, boy. I know that young man is walking around with a chip on his shoulder. And he want to show the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, they made a huge mistake by not selecting him in that draft before the 5th round. And I bet if he was asked this question, how does he feel about the Saints not drafting him, knowing Derek Carr will not play this season? Of course, right now, his response, he'll probably be very humble, something to the extent of like, I'm happy where I'm at now. I ain't worried about the Saints. I'm focused on where I'm at right now. Until he solidifies himself as a starter or a key player on that team, then he gonna talk real spicy about the Saints. Like, boy, they know they messed up. They know they were supposed to draft me, as he should. You know what I mean? That feels crazy to get overlooked like that, and you know you the shit. If you know you the shit and you get overlooked like that, you really have a chip on your shoulder. You understand what I'm saying? You really have a chip on your shoulder, right? And now, like I said, we're going to get to the head coach, Kevin Stefanski. He had something to say, and he was asked. This is crazy, y'all. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. Head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked basically, what did he see in Dillon Gabriel's career that made him believe Dillon Gabriel can be an NFL quarterback? Watch this, y'all. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. I'm telling you. Can y'all hear this fine? Let me start this over. Make sure you can hear it.
Yeah, it's hard because a couple plays come to mind, and he played long enough where there should be plenty to choose from. But yeah, I think you should probably, as you look at quarterbacks, I think watching those 3rd down plays are really important in the evaluation of quarterbacks. That's always been that way, and something that I think with our quarterbacks we definitely value those plays on those money downs when it's in the 4th quarter and you got to make a play.
One more time, y'all. One more time. Please listen up.
Yeah, it's hard because a couple plays come to mind, and he played long enough where there should be plenty to choose from. But yeah, I think you should probably, as you look at quarterbacks, I think watching those 3rd down plays are really important in the evaluation of quarterbacks. That's always been that way, and something that I think with our quarterbacks we definitely value those plays on those money downs when it's in the 4th quarter and you got to make a play.
Did y'all hear that? This can't be real. This can't be real. The head freaking coach has a hard time justifying why he selected a quarterback in the 3rd round, Dillon Gabriel. The head coach had a hard time justifying why he selected the quarterback. The thing about drafting a quarterback, they are evaluated much more strenuously than any other position because of how much responsibility that position demands. And he can't figure out what to say besides, we look at third down. Wow. Wow. Chat, please talk to me. Please talk to me. A response like that is starting to make me believe that maybe there was some talks about not drafting Shedeur Sanders and whatever else about the whole conspiracy theory and whatever else is going on, right? When you hear something like that really have you scratching your head and make you want to have you thinking and wondering what was going on, right? And I bet $1,000, I bet you $100 or whatever y'all want to bet. There's so many things right off the top of head coach Kevin Stefanski's head that he could have said positive of how he felt about Shedeur Sanders and why he felt like he can be an NFL quarterback. I bet you whatever. Ain't no doubt in my mind. He could have said so many positive things right off the top of his head about Shedeur Sanders. When he was asked about what did he see in Dylan Gabriel, first thing he said was, he had to think about it. And the get out of jail free card was third down. We look at third down. Man, that's wild, man. That is unbelievable. That makes me think, man. And I seen something in the chat. They say he can't read defenses. I couldn't see who did that, man. Appreciate the super chat. Y'all don't know, man. Y'all don't know, man. Take a lot, get up here and stay focused and keep it going, man. Y'all feel me? But yeah, that's Shedeur Sanders, man. I really thought the Saints was going to take him. Now that we know that what we know, him competing at the Saints seems like a much better and much more of a fair chance for him to be able to win a starting position as compared to the Cleveland Browns. But I could be wrong, you know what I mean? And the Saints, man, they really wasn't high on Shedeur Sanders if they knew Derek Carr was going to retire. You know what? I just thought about that, guys. Think about this. This is exactly what happened. Because they knew about this way before the draft happened, right? They worked out the contract with Derek Carr before the draft. He got his roster bonus. They prorated some monies and things like that. I have to 100% check that they worked this out before the draft, right? I don't know if they just worked it out when they retired, but he worked it out before the draft. We're going to assume that for now, right? Derek Carr worked out his retirement agreement before the draft, right? But then he announces after the draft that he's going to retire. And I'll be a damn fool if y'all want me to believe that the Saints had no idea that he was going to retire before the draft happened. But they didn't allow, they may had an agreement. They told him, don't make an announcement about your retirement until after the draft is over because we don't want all this pressure coming to us to draft Shedeur Sanders. You understand what I'm saying? Wow. That's crazy. But it sounds feasible, right? Ain't no way in the world we can say that the Saints just all of a sudden hit with a surprise that Derek Carr is retiring. Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way y'all ever get me to believe that, chat. Let's get to a few chats. Terrell back in the building. Super chat, what they do is say this is why Browns are trash. The Browns are trash because they don't know what they're doing as far as personnel. Talk to me. What from the owners to the general managers or what? What is making the Browns trash? Because they put all their eggs in one basket and they went after Deshaun Watson. And that was the for sure pick to change that team around. But guess what? Things didn't go as planned. A lot of distractions, injuries, so on and so forth. They still are trying to change this team around. They're out there, going out there to get, certain players, try to make this team better. And they re-signed Myles Garrett. So You got to be happy with that. We have to see how this quarterback position is going to pan out because I don't know. But if it doesn't pan out this year, you best believe that next year they will be back in the fold for another quarterback. You understand, chat? How we doing out there, chat? Shout out to Marlon in the building. Marlon say it was smart. Marlon Burdette. I hope I'm saying it right. You know what I mean? Like I always say, shout out to Marlon. He's one of those, he's one of those ones that been down since day one and he's loyal. You know what I mean? He'd always come give that energy back that I give to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Say what needs to be said. We're going to get into this Travis Hunter. We're going to talk a little bit. You know what I mean? I see you, Breezy World in the building for the super chat with the super chat. Shout out to the super chat. Yeah, man. And we're going to get into a little Travis Hunter. What is going on in Jacksonville? How I feel about Travis Hunter, this new situation. Rookie mini camp is over with. And we got a lot of things to discuss. He said, Skip exposing your boy Brady. Brady is two-faced. Yeah, man, I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't know if it was going to bore y'all to death, man. I really wanted to jump in and talk about Skip and the Tom Brady situation. Y'all have to understand, we could tap in a little bit. Y'all understand, man, Tom Brady is a super nice guy. Tom Brady wants to make everyone feel good and inspire everybody and motivate everyone he comes in touch with. He doesn't want to give any negative energy if he doesn't have to, right? Right? And then, okay, so he has this relationship with Shedeur Sanders. He's teaching him, he's mentoring him, he's teaching him how to be basically TB12. You know, it's 12, it's Tom time, you feel me? And he's a kid. He meets him when he's a kid. He grows up, he works with him, he understands his mechanics, his deficits, what he can do good, what he don't do so well, right? Now Brady's the owner. He has to give his true opinion of how he feel about players as an owner if the team is coming to him about a player, especially one he spent a lot of time with. So with that being said, if he did feel that way and didn't want or didn't feel like the Oakland Raiders should draft Shedeur Sanders, that's his prerogative and that's his, he has that right. That's his right to give his opinion, not to draft Shedeur Sanders, right? And then I don't know how Skip Bayless would find out, but obviously somebody leaked something, and then Skip Bayless, I have breaking news. Let me come out and speak down and more bad news and publicity about Shedeur Sanders. Wow, he's already going through enough. You understand what I'm saying? It was totally unnecessary and totally out of bounds for Skip to come out and think he needs to expose this, right? If Tom said that, he told that in confidentiality, right? And Tom would never want something like that to leak where he doesn't want to talk too highly of a player, especially at a time when a player is going through something like that. You know what I mean? So, yes, Tom may have said it. Does it make him two-faced? I don't know, man. You got to understand. People all over the world are reaching out to Tom Brady to come work with Tom Brady, come learn anything from Tom Brady. And Dion obviously reached out to Tom Brady, and his son went there to go practice and learn from Tom Brady. And it definitely must have helped, right? Right? So Tom Brady is doing a great job by being a mentor, the great Tom Brady, and spreading that love and knowledge and wisdom to the youth like we need. Now he's in the owner position. He has to give his honest opinion. Yes, we may feel a way because they didn't trade him. That's our personal feelings and emotions, right? Now, you take that away, Tom Brady has to do a job. Just like when you go to work, I go to work, we all have a job to do. And you have to do that job to the best of your ability, or else we all know what's happening, baby. Say what needs to be said, because I'm going to say it, man. Shout out to the super chat. I see y'all in the building, man. I see y'all keeping it going. Shout out to Breezy World engaging with the boy. You feel me? Do I see George Stands in the building? I see a George Still. George Still say, this was a publicity stunt. And that's possible. All this could have been a publicity stunt. It could have been this. It could have been that. It could have been all these type of things. But all I know, the viewership for an NFL draft day was through the roof. everything is going crazy, right? Because mostly of the Sanders last name, and that's Shedeur Sanders, right? So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's Tom Brady. He definitely probably had some input. And is he going to tell the truth about whether or not he had input? Probably not. I mean, if he had input, he's probably not going to say he had input and say, no, I didn't want Shedeur Sanders, you know? So we'll see. At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders got to be a dog, and he's looking good out there. I must say, Shedeur Sanders is looking good out there as a Cleveland Brown. He throwing some, you know, he's throwing balls. He's dotting the I's and crossing the T's, right? Right on the money. Like he's, you know, we know he's accurate. But it's only the rookies right now. Things to pick up, things like that. So, you know what I mean? Now we got to get into this Travis Hunter situation. You understand? Travis Hunter, right? Travis Hunter has started off his professional career at the wide receiver position for the Jacksonville Jaguars, chat. Right. And we all know throughout his college career, leading up to the NFL draft, he expressed his desire that he will play. Not he want to play. He will play both cornerback and wide receiver in the NFL. But I can see, and I've been seeing, that receiver is Hunter's first love, right? The flashy position that commands a lot of attention. Now, how great of a wide receiver Travis Hunter will be on this next level, only time will tell us. We will wait and see. We wait and see. But one thing I can tell you that I know for sure, by watching him and his athletic ability, Travis Hunter will be a really great, or really good, if not great, cornerback if he chooses to make cornerback a priority. You can't half and half anything in NFL. You have to make either or a priority. And I'm telling y'all that right now. If he decides to make cornerback a priority, he can be a great cornerback. But splitting time with both of them, got to see if he's going to be able to master two skills in a profession. It's very hard. Yeah. Now, Travis Hunter, he understands cornerback isn't as flashy as their receiver position, like I mentioned, but he understands that, or he, well, let me repeat that. Let me see him. Right? It's not that flashy. What I said, cornerback is not that flashy, right? But cornerback, that's what I was going to say. Cornerback doesn't require as much teamwork as a wide receiver position does to be successful. You understand what I'm getting at? Like him trying to play wide receiver in the Jacksonville Jaguars, it requires the team help, the quarterback. It requires all these things to line up for him to be successful, right? The first thing is Hunter got to go develop a relationship with Trevor Lawrence. And he got to get Trevor Lawrence to believe in him and get him the ball immediately, despite Trevor Lawrence's relationship with Brian Thomas Jr. You know, they already built a connection and been there a year. And that guy's big, tall, and all those things, right? I think he had like over 1,300 yards or something this his rookie season. Then the offensive line needs to do their job. They got to protect the quarterback. The running back got to be able to pick up blitzes. The center got to be able to hike the ball. Y'all know where I'm getting at, you know? And everything was pretty bad for Jacksonville last season. It doesn't take that much for him to go out there and shine at cornerback. It doesn't take that much, right? And as far as the offensive line go and protection and everything was just bad last season. And the offensive line was probably one of the worst areas. Yeah. The only difference is you have new energy as a head coach, a young, vibrant head coach. And they may help change the culture around there and the mindset and everybody start getting a winning attitude. Hopefully Travis Hunter could be that person, right? But this is what the head coach had to say about Travis Hunter and him coming in at mini rookie camp. Coach Lim said the two-way standout has been learning the offense and defense playbooks but they opted to have him just catch passes during the Jaguars' 2-day rookie camp that concluded Saturday. The team will get him some defensive reps for the first time during last week of phase 2 of the offseason conditioning program. We just kind of ended up making a decision that from yesterday to today, we wanted to be able to clean up some of the things that we may able to miss. We may have been able to miss yesterday, and get extra reps on the offensive side of the ball. And next week he'll start to roll on defense, Cohen said after roughly 90-minute workout. Coach Cohen said Hunter already has learned some of the coverages despite not having spent as much time in the defensive playbook as the offensive one. He's been able to dive in and learn from our 3-deep coverages. What do we call our 3-deep coverages on the outside if he has to be manned up on the backside of a 3-by-1? He'll know all the calls already, Cohen said. So at the end of the day, it's going to be about, on the defensive side of the ball, communication, the technique, and the fundamentals. We'll continue to harp on, but it's really about being on the same page as the rest of the guys on the back end from communication, from a communication standpoint, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. He's obviously having to learn both sides of the ball. He's a football smart guy. The game makes sense to him, and so it's just putting in. And so now it's just about putting in that time, the extra time that he's going to have to do in order to be successful. That's what head coach had to say about Travis Hunter, right? And it's way too early to determine if Travis Hunter is going to be a receiver first and a cornerback second, or a cornerback first and a receiver second, but he's starting off at offense, as we see right now. He's starting off at offense, right? Right? Do y'all think this is going to work out for Travis Hunter and the Jacksonville Jaguars? He's starting off on offense. Is this going to work out? And I think this will be one of them stories where we have to determine later if Travis Hunter was the correct pick for Jacksonville Jaguars and not Ashton Jeanty. Like I said before in the previous video, I really believe, like I said, the Jacksonville Jaguars had no reason to move up and go get Travis Hunter. They should have stayed where they was at and selected Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty. Am I saying it right? And let me tell you, if Ashton Jeanty rushes for 1,300 yards, if Ashton Jeanty rushes for 1,300 yards for the Oakland Raiders, the Jacksonville Jaguars made a big mistake in the 2025 draft. Let me repeat that. There's two sides to this. If Ashton Jeanty rushes for over 1,300 yards for the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders, the Jacksonville Jaguars made a huge mistake by drafting Travis Hunter. Now, on the other hand, on the flip side, if Travis Hunter doesn't have over 1,000 yards receiving his rookie season, it's an even bigger mistake. And I know we keep saying 1,000 yards. Everyone says 1,000-yard receiver. It's 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard receiver. I think it's time to go up a little. We got to kind of go to 1,100 or 1,200. They played 17 games, and now it's going to 18, and we're still saying 1,000 is supposed to be, sufficient. That's damn near half. That's damn near 50 yards per game. The hell? So I could do that, And yeah. So if Travis Hunter doesn't have 1,000 yards receiving his rookie year, his rookie season, this is going to be a terrible decision not taking Ashton Jeanty, because Ashton Jeanty can help the offense and he can help the defense. Now, we have to always remember, the reason I'm saying this, always remember that the Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to get Travis Hunter. The Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to get Travis Hunter when they could have stayed where they was at, seen if Cleveland was going to get Travis Hunter, and if they did, so be it. They could have got Ashton Jeanty, and if they didn't, they could have stayed where they at and still got Travis Hunter, right? Now, at cornerback, in my opinion, Travis Hunter at cornerback, he would have to do something insanely crazy for all this to make sense, right? I mean, he would have to do something crazy on defense for this to make sense if he doesn't have that much production on offense, like I'm saying. You can't split it both ways. And we have to remember, like I said, that about Travis Hunter. We got to remember what I said, and we got to revisit this. What I said about Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty, what they need to accomplish for these drafts and these trades to be successful. Ashton Jeanty, if he rushed for 1,300 yards, and Jacksonville doesn't rush for 1,300 yards or have a 1,300-yard running back, so on and so forth, this is going to be one of the most horrible mistakes a team made in the draft. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of mistakes in the draft, but this draft, this would be the number one mistake that a team made in this draft, right? And the wide receiver position for the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? It isn't in much of a need like the cornerback group. The cornerback group, they need some help immediately. You hear me? The freaking Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback group needs some help immediately. Yeah, chat, y'all talk to me. Y'all get a little gauge with me real quick. How bad? Now, we know how bad the whole team was, but how bad do you think Jacksonville Jaguars secondary was this past season? It's 32 teams. What do y'all think the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary was ranked this season? The defense was bad overall, but we're just talking about pass defense. Talk to me, chat. You got 1 through 32. What were the Jacksonville Jaguars pass defense ranked last season? For them to go get Travis Hunter, baby. But that say CoinLito's way say 31. Good guess, good guess. I appreciate you. Says 31. Was they ranked 31st? I don't know. That's pretty far, man. Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, pass defense, ranked 31st. That's pretty damn far. Look at this, man. Look at this. S-Class, I see you, number 25, 25th. No, they wasn't ranked 25th. Dead freaking last. When you're dead last in anything, that is horrible. Let alone a professional, that is a terrible feeling. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense secondary, dead last. That is horrible. They need help immediately. So Travis Hunter trying to play receiver and things like that, it sounds cute and all that, and it's pretty and it's fun, and we can draw up these routes, but they need some help immediately. This is awful. They are giving up just on the pass. We're not even talking about the total defense. We're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary on the pass. They're giving up 257.4 yards per game passing. That's how many yards Jacksonville Jaguars secondary is giving up. That's 13 yards more than the 31st ranked team, which is the Ravens. They giving up 244.1 yards per game pass. That's what the Ravens giving up. To give up 13 more yards than the next to the team closest to you, that is unbelievable in the NFL. That is terrible. That is absolute terrible. Absolutely terrible. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, man. And I want to know. I'm kind of curious too, man, about these rookies, right? Being that Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, they was one of the most popular players to ever come out of college, right? And they're still popular. That popularity is following them to the NFL. And there's a lot of popular players in the NFL, but these two guys are just a different type of popular, right? Now, how many new fans do y'all think Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are going to convert or have converted to their new teams? Now, this may be the first time in NFL history that a fifth round pick is in the top 3 of jersey sales, right? A fifth round pick, that says a lot about Shedeur Sanders' influence and so on and so forth. But a fifth round pick is top 3 in jersey sales. That's a big check right there. That's a hell of influence, man, for one player not to have been drafted in the top 10 in the NFL draft, And I'm definitely rooting for these young men, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, Abdul Carter, Ashton Genty, everybody, man. We rooting for all these young men to go out there and do good. You feel me? I know if they're not on y'all favorite team, y'all gonna have something to say. But yeah, man, I hope all these young men go out there and achieve greatness. Man, that's all I can do. Root for them. I can't go out there and play, so they're gonna have to see what they're gonna do. We're gonna have to see what they're gonna do. Chat, how we feeling out there tonight? Saturday night vibes. We've been chilling, man. We've been doing our thing. How we doing, chat? I see you, Jay Rich. Yes, we in the building. Anything else hit the wire that we got to discuss? But this was just crazy to me, man, how Kevin Stefanski, what he had to say about Dylan Gabriel wasn't very excited, didn't have a lot of exciting expressions or things to say that popped out quickly in his head, right? He had to think about it, and the only thing he could say is third down. And the Shedeur Sanders situation, man, Shedeur Sanders is doing very well. He's looking good at camp, and there's a possibility he could be a starter. If he's the starter for the Cleveland Browns on the first day of regular season, man, that is going to be that's going to be a hell of a crowd. Y'all hear me? If Shedeur Sanders starts for the Cleveland Browns on opening day, that is going to be a hell of a crowd in that stadium. The atmosphere is going to be ecstatic. If they win, oh man, if you understand, if Shedeur goes out there and plays in that first game and wins, I know that's a little left, a little right, a little far east, a little far west, all that, you know what I mean? But that's a strong possibility, and I'm definitely root for him. You understand, when you have that it factor and that confidence, you understand that confidence takes people a long way. And Shedeur Sanders, that's one thing he will never lack, is that confidence. He's walking into that facility confident. Now, he's just there with rookies right now. You're vibing, everybody feels the same. Things get a little different when the vets come around, they start pushing you and treating you like a rookie. Then your confidence, you have to maintain that confidence if you're a confident person like that. But yeah, man, say what needs to be said. Saturday night vibe. Yes, sir. I had to come in and touch on the Shedeur Sanders situation. Being that Derek Carr retired, forfeited $30 million. Hey, if y'all made $200 million in your career, and this last year you was going to make $30 million, is there any chance in hell that you can forfeit this $30 million? Please tell me no. I ain't nowhere in hell. I need some religious people to speak to me and give me a religious thought process of turning down $30 million, because obviously all us religious people, not so religious people, ain't turning down no $30 million. And no, this ain't no alcoholic beverage in my drink. No, sir. No, sir. $30 million. What y'all do? Who that? Who they? Who they? Who they, man? Who they need another quarterback? Hey, I was watching Tyler Shuck, man, before we got on, and I was doing some homework on Tyler Shuck. And, man, he may not have played as well as he did his fifth year, you know what I mean, at Louisville. Tape didn't look as good, but he looked really good at Louisville. Like I say, he's big, he's fast, and he can roll to the left and throw the ball like a lot of quarterbacks can't do. He could roll to the left and throw the ball well, and he could roll to the right and throw the ball well. So that's something he can do. And his mobility isn't that bad at 6'5", 225. So, man, they might have a better eye than we all think. You understand? So we have to wait and see how this whole situation gonna play out. One thing's for sure, Tyler Shutt got some talent wide receivers out there in New Orleans with Chris Olave and can't think of the other guy name, but got some talent to play with. And we gonna see, man. Off-topic question. Talk to me, Jay Rich. Y'all talk to me. That's what this is right now. We in Q&A time, man. I finished up the few stories I had to talk about. It was, I wanted to talk about Travis Hunter, and I want to talk about Derek Carr retiring and how everybody felt about Shedeur Sanders not being drafted to the New Orleans Saints. And that is just mind-boggling to a lot of people. And it is still to this day, especially that he just made this announcement. What we got, chat? How we feeling, baby? I know everybody wondering about my son too, man. Asante Samuel Jr., who he's going to sign with, is he going to sign, and what is going on, and so on and so forth. I wish he might want to come on, say what needs to be said and chop it up and, express what is going on and give y'all a little inside track. But I don't know. He's a quiet guy. You never know what he's going to say, when he's going to say. But, man, good vibes tonight. Good time with the chat, Saturday Night Vibes. I'll see y'all next time. Hey, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all like. How many of y'all was in the building tonight? And I don't know how many likes I got, but make sure y'all like. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're turning on your notification buttons, the bells, and whatever it's called. And so you know when Mr. Pick 6 coming on, baby. All right, Saturday Night Vibes. I'm going to see y'all next time.